There's a man trapped inside my parents' basement, and he's the reason I exist. Part 2. Growing up, the two of them mentioned the wine cellar less. During holidays, it was always them ordered to go get the expensive wine. When I asked if I could retrieve it, my parents just shook their heads, smiled, and said, "You wouldn't understand." I've never had a great relationship with my family, but I forced myself to attend my mother's brunch yesterday. I left home pretty much the second I graduated high school and never looked back. My siblings were the reason I left. The two of them were completely insufferable and never got better. They were spoiled brats I wanted to distance myself from as quickly as possible. Mom sent me a text last week that basically said, "You don't love me anymore, do you?" So I had no choice but to show up to brunch with a smile on my face. The truth is, when I received that text, I did still love her, and part of me was guilty for staying as far away as possible. Then, on my way inside my mother's house, I walked straight into my heavily pregnant sister and her 3 kids. She greeted me like she would greet a dog. It was no secret my sister Anastasia was the golden child. Noah, my brother, was more of a mistake, pegged by our parents themselves. While I was just kind of there, I existed. Anastasia, my 26-year-old sister, was the embodiment of perfection, according to my mother. She was one with the grades, the awards, the captain of her varsity soccer team, and an artist. Mom had all her paintings hung up in the hallway. Drawings Anastasia had drawn as a child, framed in gold, while the masterpieces my brother and I drew were in some random closet. Anastasia had, of course, gotten pregnant the second she finished college. I wouldn't call her twins perfect. The two were screeching the second I stepped inside Mom's dining room. Anastasia completely ignored my greeting and waddled over to me wearing this huge smile, like she had been waiting for me specifically. She immediately asked me if I had a boyfriend and looked surprised when I said I didn't. I glimpsed Noah already guarding the drinks table, already drunk as usual. The two were tossing playful looks between each other, and I was already mentally exhausted. I wasn't planning on talking to either of them. I was just there to prove to our mother I hadn't completely abandoned her. Look, I could deal with the first, "Do you have a boyfriend?" But my sister would not fucking let it go. She asked me a second time when I grabbed food and gave my mother a hug. Anastasia floated around me with this wicked smile on her face. "You didn't tell us about your boyfriend," she spoke over me talking about my job. Anastasia ignored me talking about my job, my friends, and a promotion, once again taking control of the conversion. "Where's your boyfriend?" she asked again, knowing I told her in confidence when I was 18 that I'm asexual. Back then, she didn't understand what it meant, insisting, "Oh, you just haven't found the right person." She was very clearly trying to get me to admit it to our parents. One thing about my sister is that she's cruel. She's always been evil. Noah's always been more of a sociopath.